Alright everybody, we are back for our third session with Mortal Kombat Deception on the GameCube. We are going for a 100% run on the Conquest mode and then eventually working our way probably through the rest of the game, knowing me. What constitutes a 100% run on this game is kind of a debatable thing. What we are defining as a 100% run is doing everything that changes your file. So that means doing every side mission that doesn't repeat itself. That's doing every fight that will get you some sort of crypt key, and opening every chest that we can. What we are not required to do are fights that do not unlock anything, because they don't actually change your file. So like if you walk up to Kira and Kira says, "I've been looking for you, let's fight," and then you fight her, and the next time you talk to her she says, "I've been looking for you, let's fight," that doesn't matter because it's not changing your file. But if you fight somebody and it gets you a crypt key, or you're doing a mission that's going to change the dialogue of a character or change the placement of an in-game character, that's all part of that 100%. We've already done the applicable missions for Earth Realms so far, and we are ready to move on to the Nether Realm. So let's go ahead and get Conquest booted up. Oh, gotta put in my good old no profile. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. So I am not going to pretend that I have the entire game memorized. We have this massive 13-page document with that's actually in 6-point font, and I don't know if you can see this, but it has 2 columns. So this is a lot of information, and we're using this kind of as a check sheet to make sure that we do everything that we can. So first things first, let's go ahead and exit Earth Realm because we are done here, and it's time to enter the Nether Realm. So just like Earth Realm, Nether Realm has a few things that you can't do on your first pass through. And then it has a few things that I'm not going to do my first pass through because I'm going to want a stronger fighter to complete. So we are not going to do every Nether Realm mission on this first pass. We're going to be coming back in a much later video that I think I'll probably title something like Cleanup or something, in which we'll go back and refine, or we'll go back and kind of cross the T's and dot the I's of the small things that we missed. I'm going to be taking notes of what we need to do on here along the way though. So let's go ahead and enter in. Also, in the last video, we attempted to unlock a bunch of chests, and we ran into some roadblocks because it turns out some chests are something that can only be unlocked later in the game. So having that in mind, I think we're going to forego intentionally unlocking all the chests until the very end game, so that way we can just go ahead and get everything at one sweep. But you will be seeing me unlocking some chests along the way just as I see them, but for the most part we're going to save the actual hunting down of treasure chests for end game. So we're going to be fixing that in post. Haha. Okay, so let's go ahead and enter Nether Realm, push the story forward, and enjoy some Mortal Kombat Conquest. Alright, we are in the Nether Realm. And the Nether Realm is the hell of Mortal Kombat. So just like we did with the last session, I think the best thing to do would be to clear through the story mode main points here, basically all the stuff with the glowy bits, and then go back after we go through the story and all the different character tutorials and do the side quests after that, because that will give us access to the most stuff. So here's a fight. This is a great example of what I'm talking about. This is going to be a fight with Shang Tsung, and it gets you absolutely nothing, nor does it really change any dialogue trees. So it is not necessary for us to have this fight. However, this is Shinnok, who's actually kind of the Lucifer of the Mortal Kombat world, and this person, this is not a fight, this is a mission, so we will have to do that mission regardless of what we get for it, because it will change the dialogue tree, and obviously, like I said, it's a mission. Let's first things first. Ooh, go get this chest, then we'll move over here to Astra. Very cool character, Astra.
I am Shujinko. Pardon my intrusion, but you do not look like a demon of the Nether Realm.
I am Astra. I was once like the others, before I found the means to purge myself of the evil taint that permeates all who reside here. By slaying demons with an enchanted sword, I will gradually transform into a being whom this realm cannot contain. Eventually, I will be free. And how is it you exist in this place? You do not seem to belong here yourself.
I am from Earth Realm.
I see. Be warned, Shujinko. The Nether Realm is quite hostile to outsiders. If you are to survive against its denizens, you will need special skills. I offer to train you in the art of combat that will be most effective here.
I accept your most gracious offer, Astra.
Then let your training begin.
So yeah, so like she said, Astra's a really cool character. I'd be interested to see more Astra. I'd be interested to see a version of Astra where you can see her progression from a demon to this beautiful lady. But yeah, basically she has this Chris sword, and she found it, and every single time she slays a demon, she gets a little bit more pure. That's her thing. I remember when this game was being announced and images were being leaked. Now you guys remember this is before YouTube, and the internet was a lot slower and less connected. But I remember seeing her in gaming magazines and what have you, and people just assuming this was a female Raiden, because in the prior game they had done Frost. So Frost was brand new during this time period, and Frost was essentially a female Sub-Zero. And so everybody was thinking she was a female Raiden. Not to mention, she has this torpedo move that's very similar to Raiden's torpedo move. So we would see, I can remember what it is, back forward something. Or it's not. Forward something. There we go. So I remember seeing screenshots of that, being like, oh, it's clearly Frost. And then you'd see this. It's not Frost. It's clearly like a Frost kind of character, a female version. Let me get these. I'm talking too much. There we go. But nope, she wasn't. Yeah, there's a couple ones like that, like Hotaru. Yeah, Hotaru in his second outfit looks a lot like Cyrax. And so there was speculation that Cyrax was going to be in this game. There. Yapping on things. Oh, it's raining outside. Yeah, so what I'm keeping track of over there is I just finally completed my Mortal Kombat box collection for Nintendo. So I have every Mortal Kombat released on every Nintendo console. The hard one is actually the Game Boys. So Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. And in particular, there is the Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 cartridge. And I've had the cartridge itself forever, but the box is hard to find. You'll find the cartridge for $10, but if you find the game in box, it'll be $200 or $500. And I'm not spending that much just for a box. I am not a crazy person. So, anyways, I ended up finding somebody who was selling it for a remarkably affordable price, and I jumped on it. Just like that, I have every Mortal Kombat for every Nintendo console. Because as far as video games, I always struggle with the fact that my favorite video game is not a big fan of my favorite console. I love Nintendo. I think Nintendo makes the best consoles. I think Nintendo games are better than basically any other video game out there, except for Mortal Kombat. But Mortal Kombat very rarely gets put on Nintendo consoles, and if it does, sometimes it will be a gimped version of, you know, what everybody else has. But not Mortal Kombat Deception. This is actually, since, you know, online's not a thing anymore, this is actually the better version of Mortal Kombat Deception, the GameCube version. There used to be a debate between that because the PlayStation Xbox version of Deception had online play. But obviously they don't anymore. So this version has the additional characters of Shao Kahn and Goro. So this is always the one that I play. Not to mention, like I said, I prefer Nintendo consoles.
Correct.
I remember my dad walking in on me playing this game. He's such a good guy. He works for the Catholic Church, and he's a very kind person, and but he's also very understanding, and he understands that a video game is a video game, and I'm not actually thinking I'm doing these things. But I remember him walking in once, seeing like the blood dripping down to people's body, and him just being like, "Oh well, let's not overdo it now, okay? Let's not get too bloody." But for people who think violent video games are going to make violent people, it did get me interested in martial arts, and because of martial arts, I have a career today, and several people in my life. Ooh, messed that one up. Several people in my life have been attacked and were able to defend themselves because of what I taught them. So yeah, Mortal Kombat in some ways helped with all that. Oh, I thought I was going to get that first try. There we go. Yeah, me and my friends, I don't think we ever got crazy good at this game. But we played it like crazy. See, that was the thing, man. Before YouTube and streaming and like everybody getting really close the way we are, it was kind of hard to tell if you were good at a game or if you sucked at a game. I remember thinking I was so good at Mortal Kombat until I started playing with this one guy in high school. And he just bodied me, and I couldn't understand how he was able to beat the crap out of me in this game. Make sure that hits there. And then I go over to his house, and he shows me, oh, he has Mortal Kombat for the Xbox, and he was able to go online with that, which was like a new idea to me. I'd never seen games going online, and so he'd go online and just get obliterated by the people online. But of course, that, you know, made him stronger at the game.
Round 1. Fight!
Alright, stop. There we go. I was like, this little low poking thing is murdering me. Anyways, yeah, so I ended up getting to a point where I could reliably beat him, but it was a big wake up call that, like, oh man, just because you're really good amongst your group of friends doesn't necessarily mean you're even remotely good at the game. So I've learned that as far as players are concerned, even when I'm at my best, I'm usually kind of mid tier. I've never been. Well, I mean, I did do the world record thing, so I got the world record for fastest time on Mortal Kombat 4 and world record for Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. I even got put into the Guinness World Records the Guinness Book of World Records for it. But that's going against a computer. It's much different than playing against people. So I was pretty good at figuring out AI and what have you. And for those of you who are wondering if I still have those records, no, I do not. They stood for a good amount of time. They stood for like 5 to 8 years, depending on which record you're looking at. But it was actually the popularity of Mortal Kombat 11, I want to say it was. No. Mortal Kombat 9. The popularity of Mortal Kombat 9 dramatically changed the competition scene for Mortal Kombat, and a bunch of very impressive players came out of the woodworks, and one of them just obliterated my times.
So this is the demon known as Astra. Your notoriety extends as far as Outworld. Many of Shao Kahn's NetherRealm allies have fallen to your blade. Thus he is sent an assassin to deal with you.
Yes, I am aware of the demon known as Ermac. I welcome his arrival. Until then, you will serve as combat practice.
I love the concept of Astra's character because her soul gets purified as she fights. And so she has a real reason to just arbitrarily fight. Most of Mortal Kombat characters are just psychopaths who fight because they're crazy people. But she's got a real, genuine reason to fight people. For no reason. A real reason to fight for no reason. Oh, wait, I was hitting the wrong button. Gotta hit that last part of that combo. I keep dropping it. There we go. A lot of people don't know that you can hold that. See? That's a terrible stance. You'd be knocked on your ass.
That Tarkatan was not a pure demon, but a mutated hybrid of demon and mortal races. There was not much to gain from his death. Were I to defeat the powerful demon Ermac, however, I would surely ascend from this place much sooner. If while on your quest you should encounter him, lead him to me. It is here that I am most powerful.
If I see him, I will do as you ask.
Alright. Move on. Sujinko's a filthy liar because he's about to go see Ermac. Instead, he's just going to train with him. As we've seen, Sujinko is maybe the protagonist, but he is not a good guy. When I was younger, I didn't think much about just how much of an ass he really was, but oh, look at him, he's walking around a little bit more.
I am no beast. I am Shujinko from Earthrealm, and I am in search of a powerful demon. I have an acquaintance who wants to deal with him.
As commanded by the Emperor Shao Kahn, we search for a powerful demon as well. But we are bound together by sorcery, and the lower planes of this realm drain magical power. Our bond, our strength, is fading. We fear that we will not have the strength to destroy our enemy.
Why do you say we and our?
We will explain later if you help us. There is not much time.
I will most certainly help you. What must I do?
Help us find a soul stone, a large red monolith covered with ancient runes. We can replenish the magic power that binds our souls together and continue our trek. Do this for us, and we will reveal to you our knowledge of combat as payment.
I will search for the soul stone.
I wish you could learn, whole martial arts styles in one session. You just go up to Joe Louis or I don't know, Mike Tyson, and they're just like, oh yeah, here you go. This is how you fight like me.
This appears to be the soul stone that warrior mentioned. I must inform him of its location.
Me. Bunch of demons.
Greetings. I have found the soul stone. It is to the east, not far from here.
She just gets up and walks away.
Immediately. Come, we will reward you once we have regained our strength. Yes, this is it. A soul stone. We can feel our strength returning.
What exactly is a soul stone?
Many ages ago, the first sorcerers toiled for the elder gods, linking the realms with portals. The lower planes of the Nether Realm are quite hazardous to beings of magic. In inhospitable places, they erected soul stones, which restored their energies as they worked.
Why did the sorcerers build the portals for the elder gods?
They were built as an effect from some unforeseen cataclysm. We do not concern ourselves with such myths, however. Now we will honor our promise and impart to you our combat knowledge. Prepare yourself, as the power of Ermac is revealed.
I love this. Everything about this game is perfect, even the parts that are terrible. It's 'cause, like, the voice acting's bad, but like the super awkward way people move. This game was made in 2004. This is not a game that can really excuse having such terrible animation, but it kind of I don't know, it makes me happy. It's like a B film. So Ermac plays a special place in my heart because my most my biggest rival in this game was a guy by the name of Blake, and he was the guy who was talked about who had this on Xbox and was super good at playing it because he played online, and he was almost exclusively a Ermac player. And it was interesting because he was also one of the only people outside of myself I ever met who only played one character, which nowadays it's completely normal. But where I was growing up, people thought I was cheap for always using Scorpion. That they thought, they're like, well, of course you're good at Scorpion. He's the only guy you play. But to me, it just made sense that you pick a character and you get good with that character. And he also did that. And as a result, because both him and I actually mained a character, both got a much better at the game than the people who didn't main a character. But yeah, him and I had ridiculous matches. I'm sure if I went back and looked at them, I'd not say they were ridiculous. They're probably gloriously low tier. But that's the nice thing about this time period in fighting games, is that competition was local. It was person to person and what have you, and so I don't know, being low tier or not being the best in the world, not being at Evo, it didn't matter. I found it a lot easier to enjoy fighting games during this time period than I do now. I don't play competitively anymore, but you know, when the competition scene is as big as it is, it's kind of hard not to pay attention to it and realize, like, oh man, I'm not that great at the game. It was a lot better when I was ignorant of the fact that I wasn't that good. Over here, I got my one robot viewer. Hello, robot viewer. That move. Look at that. What was that? What was that? That hits. That's 20% damage for one button. Yeah, look at this. That's 27% damage. So that one move where he does where he spins, you know, the back B or back one, that one move almost does as much damage as a 4-hit combo. Yeah, damage in these old Mortal Kombats was crazy. Because you could do these huge combos. The damage scaling was really extreme and frankly kind of unpredictable for, at least for me. So here's an interesting thing. So, there we go. Obviously, Ermac's gimmick as a character is that he has telekinetics. And I always knew, like, he had telekinetics, and that's always what I related him to. That, oh yeah, Ermac, he's the telekinetic guy. And of course, Kenshi presumably learns his telekinetics from Ermac, at least depending on which storyline you're going by. But it's not really until this game that they make a big deal about his telekinetics. Like, he has like a telekinetic slam in Mortal Kombat 3, but it's not like his entire character was based around telekinetic stuff. But still, even back then, you knew, oh yeah, he was all about telekinetics. And it just, I think what I'm getting at though is that it's really impressive how the game developers were able to convey a trait like that with so little. That back in Mortal Kombat 3, he didn't. It's not like he had a lot of moves, but he had enough moves that you knew Ermac was the telekinetic guy, and I think that's pretty cool. Oh, missed it again. Boom, done. Yeah, so in the story mode itself, Sujinko goes back to hell and so we'll have a lot more opportunities at that
The
point.
demon you seek, does it have a name?
Her name is Astra. She has slain many of Shao Kahn's NetherRealm allies. For this, he has commanded us to destroy her.
Interesting. She is looking for you as well. She believes you are a demon and will combat you to purify her soul.
Her misconceptions are of no importance. You must reveal to us her location.
She is near a temple to the northwest. She is waiting for you.
Then we must leave at once.
There we go. Oh, I was unable to keep up with him. Anyways, like I was saying, that Sujinko's going to come back to Hell, and we're going to do a lot more of NetherRealm's side missions and what have you on that moment where we come back. We're going to do a little bit of them in this session. Probably a little bit over half.
At last, I will defeat the demon Ermac. Your death will bring me closer to purification and ultimately my release from this realm.
We are no demon. Surely you can sense that we are not of your kind.
Nonetheless, there must be some evil residing within you, or you could not have entered the Nether Realm.
Enough. You have killed many of Shao Kahn's allies in your quest to purify your soul. You will pay for your insolence.
Round one. Fight! Flawless victory. Round two. Fight!
Best voice acting ever.
Like Astra, it will take much more to defeat us.
And more you shall receive!
Oh my gosh. Got that Kamidogu. Alright. Alright, so we're going to go and trigger our conversation with Damashi, and then we are going to start on the side quest. So that completes the main quest of NetherRealm for this pass through. We're actually going to be coming back later. But for this pass through, we're going to go ahead and move on. Ha. Ha. So he even mugs people who are damned to hell. Look at that. What an asshole.
Damashi! Damashi, where are you?
Who dare summon me to this? Oh, Shujinko. It has been many years since last we met.
Why have I not seen you in so long a time?
I take precautions to avoid this place. It drains me. If my avatar were to stay here for too long, or descend too far into the lower planes, I could be trapped here forever.
Your avatar? I do not understand.
I am without a physical body and am only able to appear to you by extending my spirit into the realms. It is my hope that I will one day return to the physical world. Until then, I must guide
All right, so here's a little throwback thought for people who grew up with video games at this time period. So you saw how Sujinko's mouth moved a little bit? That used to impress me. That if a game character talked and their mouth moved when they talked, not even matching. If they talked and their mouth was moving like that, that would impress me. Okay, so that ends the main missions for our first pass through NetherRealm, which means it's time to move on to side missions. So what our plan is, we're going to do all the side missions except for the fights. There are a couple of fights that are required in NetherRealm, but I want to have a better character. I'm going to wait until I train with Scorpion, and then we'll do the fights once I'm Scorpion in NetherRealm. And there might be some things I can only do as an adult. I'll have to check, but regardless, I know exactly where we need to stop as far as our missions for today. So let's go ahead and pull out the old cheat sheet and figure out what our first mission is. So the first one is, alright, so we're going to be helping Brother of Shadow find his wristbands. Now the Brotherhood of Shadow, they're actually people who worship Shinnok, and Noob Saibot is one of them. So we're looking for C7, that's C8, C7. This might be our guy. That looks about right.
You there. I have lost my wrist blades somewhere in the city. Should you find them, return them to me.
So we're gonna go to A5, and that's where his wrist blades are. Now this is probably gonna be, this in Chaos Realm will probably be my most disjointed, if I imagine. Chaos Realm's designed to be confusing, but I also find NetherRealm to be confusing to navigate. Because the city itself, if we, I don't want to meditate. What's my city button? There we go. The city itself, which is in that lower left-hand corner there, it's a little bit of a labyrinth. And I can also see if I'm heading for, what am I heading for? A5. I'm on the wrong side of the tracks. I need to completely change which way I'm facing. Alright, so I need to go that way, is that right? Grab the coin. Punch the guy in the face. Let's talk to this person real quick. Not it. A6. A5. There we go. Sit right there. So those are his wrist blades. They're pretty cool. Kind of makes you look like Wolverine. I just pressed the wrong button again. Sorry, guys. Like I said, not really a speed run. You know, I always find myself, so like I was talking about, I used to be a speed runner, and I actually got some world records because of it, which was cool. But I always find that like temptation calling again and again and again. But what I personally found when it came to speed running was that kind of ruined the games for me. So I try to remind myself about that, because like every Every bit of me wants to speedrun this game. I'm like, oh, I could speedrun this. I could kill this. But what it would take to do it would make it so that the game wasn't fun anymore. And I need to know that about myself. Well, he's not someone who I get to punch, apparently. Let's see here. So it's morning, or it's the middle of the night, rather. You know, it's hard to tell in NetherRealm, but we're going to want to bring it to the daytime. Alright, so we're looking for that same brother of Shadow, wherever he is. Is that you? Oh, you're the bald guy. You might be our man.
My wrist blades.
Nailed it.
You found them. I can slay demons once again. Here is your reward.
Cool. Next is to go talk to Lucifer. So Shinnok is a fallen elder god. But you know, there he is, just hanging out. And according to the lore of this game, Lucifer used to rule the NetherRealm until Shinnok showed up and dethroned him. That's how badass Shinnok is as a bad guy.
Greetings, mortal. I am Shinnok. I was unjustly imprisoned in this realm many ages ago. I seek a lost amulet, my means of escape. The sorcerer Quan Chi sent word that he had left it somewhere in this city. I will grant you a large sum of coins if you return it to me.
Alright, let's take a quick peek at our map here. I need completely about face. Head this way. And there it is, Shinnok's amulet. Now we go to our inventory here. Let's take a look at it. Look at that, I'm just hanging out with Kamidogu. You can see that's actually a fake amulet. Oh no. But he won't know that, so we'll get money. So this is one of the few good things Sujiko has ever done. Is giving Shinnok a fake amulet as opposed to the real one. Yeah, like I said, it wasn't really until this playthrough that I've ever really realized just how much of an ass Sujiko really is. I still like him as a character. Very flawed.
Excellent. You have found my amulet, though it seems somehow different. Take these coins as your reward. When next we meet, I will no doubt be supreme ruler of all the realms. I will remember your service to me.
Let's see here. Alright, next up is we're going to C7. We're going to do the guards here. We're still at C7. Okay. Guards are chilling here. Is that right? C7, C8. We're going to be around there. Alright, so we're looking for a house with a couple of guards on the outside. This one only has one guard on the outside. Where's the other guard? Yeah, this is the right house.
You there. I need for you to tell 3 other guards to
Yeah, usually there's a guard standing here. Is that what happened to him? The blood spot?
A gathering? I will not delay.
Huh. How weird.
Our pay is nothing compared to the bribes we get from sorcerers. Paid in coins again? I was hoping for mortal flesh. I should hang you from a pole for striking me. I should...
Blah, 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 blah. Okay. We can find some guards who this will actually work on. That's interesting. So when I did a test playthrough of this, there's 2 guards standing here. Normal brother of the shadow. Here's the guard. Grab him. Nope. Alright. Grab this guard.
Yes, it has begun.
Okay.
I will meet with the other guards.
So this is the guy we just talked to, right? He's the guy who talks backwards, just like everybody. We're missing a guard. How weird. It's like a sorcerer or something. Yeah, there's a whole lore about how sorcerers can make their magic work in the Nether Realm. Oh, there's another guard just standing here. Hey.
They are gathering. I will not delay.
That works. Okay, cool. Yeah, so what I'm being shocked about was, so what I do prior to playing through this on stream, just to make the stream go a little bit smoother, is I actually pre-play it on the PSP version of the game, Mortal Kombat Unchained. Make sure this is falling off, there we go. And that was a distinct difference, that on the Unchained version there was a guard standing here, a guard standing here, and a guard that was walking by here. Basically right when I walked out. So it was instantly able to get this guy his 3 guards to do whatever it is they're trying to do.
You have done well. The others have joined me for the gathering. Here is your reward.
Okay, so the next place we're going to go is where all the Brother of Shadow are hanging out. Which... I think is around one of the larger buildings. Yeah. This one way up here? Yeah, that's it.
We search for Serena, a member of the Brotherhood of Shadow who has been missing for some time now. We fear she has betrayed us and aids an Earthrealm warrior. Find her or suffer upon the fire pikes.
So I'm sure you remember that we got those claws for the dude. Check it out. He's wearing those same kind of claws. Okay, so taking a quick peek at our map. I want to say she's behind that large building to my southeast. I think we just run this way. Yeah, but there's... Oh, here we go. I was gonna drop some lore on you, but I'll let her chat.
The Brotherhood of Shadow are searching for me? This is not good. I must leave this place now. Shujinko, please do not report back to them. I realize this puts your life in peril. Take these coins as compensation.
So yeah, the Brotherhood of Shadow... No, that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about sorcerers. Yeah, that sorcerers actually lose their power in the Nether Realm. And so they set up these, like, recharge stations all throughout NetherRealm so that they can stay strong. And that's how someone like Quan Chi can still be powerful down here. But wraiths and specters get stronger in NetherRealm. So when Quan Chi and Scorpion go to Hell, the power dynamic changes dramatically. Because Scorpion is much stronger in NetherRealm than he is on Earth, and Quan Chi is much weaker. So it was a fitting punishment.
Not a nice place, this Nether Realm. Even someone as nasty as myself will find it a bit unnerving. Name's Jarek. I'm here to prove to the Black Dragon that I'm the toughest bastard in the clan by pulling the teeth out of the jaws of an Oni. What they don't know is that demons lose their teeth all the time. If you find any lying around, bring them to me and spare me an actual fight with an Oni. I'll pay good coin for 3 of them.
That's going to be your first one here. Then we have to leave these planes here. So yeah, so after Mortal Kombat 4, Scorpion drags Quan Chi to the Nether Realm when he realizes that Quan Chi is actually the guy who was responsible for the death of his family. Then he tortures him. Tortures him for a long time. So right now we're collecting teeth for Jarek. You know, that's a thing we do. The series of... This is not where I want to be. So Jarek is not an interesting character, but he is an interesting character. That originally they were going to have Kano in Mortal Kombat 4, but they realized at one point that there were too many... There's one of them. That there were too many returning characters. There are not enough original characters in Mortal Kombat 4. So they ended up just effectively reskinning Kano. So if you play Jarek in Mortal Kombat 4, you'll see he plays really similarly to Kano, even to the extent that he has the eye laser fatality, even though he doesn't have the faceplate with the eye laser on it. I think I need to cross the bridge for this next one. There it is. And then we're going to go ahead and slip back here and grab this chest that hides back here, because it's easily forgotten. Forgotten. I speak English. I was worried for a second. I don't know if you guys saw, but for like a half second it wasn't spawning. Alright, so now we're going to go back to Jarek, give him the teeth because he's a little coward. Then move on. There he is.
You found some Oni teeth. Now I can leave this stinking place. Here's your money.
Alright, I have returned. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So we just did the Jarek one. So now we're going to move on to... fix that sword, right? Alright, so we're looking for a man in a red cloak at A8. We're at A8, so that's good. And it's 12 PM, so that's also good. The man in a red cloak. See our man?
I have held this sword as long as I can bear.
Perfect.
It was cursed by a mage to burn my skin. Take it to a sorcerer to cleanse it for me. I will reward you when you return.
Cool. Alright, and this is actually really close. It's just over here.
You have a what? A cursed sword? Yes, I can cleanse it.
So now that I've cured his sword. Also, we need to remember these guys. Might actually just talk to him.
Blast! An Oni has stolen my book of spells. I believe he is still within the walls of the city. If someone were to retrieve the book for me, I would bestow riches upon him beyond compare.
Cool. Alright, so now we need to go find that wandering sorcerer. Give him his sword back.
The curse has been removed from my sword. I can carry it to battle once more. Take this as payment.
And then gotta go get that demon. Who's is that C8? Where are we heading to? C6. Head to C6. Alright, now we gotta go get that sorcerer's book for him. Punch him? No.
The book is mine.
Yeah, all these chase sequences on the PSP version of this game, Mortal Kombat Unchained, are a little bit harder because they didn't really do anything to adjust Conquest mode. So if you can imagine cutting off the top, like half of the screen, that's what it looks like playing the game. And so when you have to turn around and run after somebody, that kind of, this moment is really hard to get your bearings.
Yes, my book of spells. I will now conjure a valuable item as payment for its return.
Not what I meant to do. There we go. Oh man. So next thing we're going to do here is we're going to exit to the lower planes. So right now we're just in this village that was, if I'm not mistaken, it was established by sorcerers so that they could live in NetherRealm but not have to have their powers drained. Once we move to the lower planes, this is where sorcerers become weak. Now here's a little interesting thing. So later on, Nightwolf talks about how unclean my soul is. And clean souls cannot be in NetherRealm, but Nightwolf is here. And one of Nightwolf's storylines says that he is actually his tribe's sin eater. So I suppose that means that he takes all of their evil onto himself so that their souls can be pure. Just interesting. So he can hang out in hell, is what I'm getting at. Even though he's a good guy, he can hang out in hell because he's sacrificed himself in that way. Let's talk to him.
I am Nightwolf. A powerful talisman, the bear totem, has been stolen from my people. A demon brought it to this accursed realm. Help me find it, and I will reward your efforts. I last saw the demon in the wastelands to the east.
The conclusion to this one's almost forced on you, because that's actually the guy right there. And if you walk anywhere near him, it will trigger.
Keep away, mortal. I know you are after my totem. It is mine.
I'll get him. They hit you. Yeah, that was a hard one. I was worried there. I wasn't sure what would happen. Yeah, speaking of that, let's do a safety save after this one.
Talisman, you have recovered it. I give you these coins as a show of thanks.
You know, most of the time safety saves are done because you're about to face a boss that you're probably going to die on. But I'm doing safety saves because Mortal Kombat Konquest, as we found out from our first attempt of playing through this, has a tendency to kind of glitch out on you. So far, knock on wood, we haven't had any of that happening in this run. So maybe we got a nice solid non-corrupted file. What's the next one we're working on? We go to that demon way over here.
It is true. Our greatest warrior was defeated in battle many ages ago. It is said that he carried a bone shield into combat when he was slain in the southern wastelands. If you find it for me, stranger, I will give you a reward.
Well, let's go to the southern wastelands by going east. Alright, we're trying to find F7. So at E6, F6, F7, that's F5. I'm going to grab this real quick. Okay, so we need to go the other way. Which is southern. Oh, I can't help myself. Whoa. That's interesting. So that guy is not there on the Mortal Kombat Unchained version of this game. Luckily, we can still get this shield. Okay, guys, we're nearing the end of this particular session. So I think the only thing we have left to do is our conversation with Moloch, which is cool. Having said that, there's still quite a bit to do, but as you saw, like how that guy was blocking the way, there are things that you cannot, or there's missions you cannot complete on your first pass through NetherRealm, and so this is what we can do so far, and we'll have to come back to do the rest. So let's go find Moloch. He's at F3. We'll try to run this way and try to get on the F line. We'll head this way and try to get on the 3 line. F4. F3. Here we go. There's a little chest over here that we'll grab. Oh, dang it. I didn't take the time to look at those guys. That's a shame. Yeah, that's Natara and somebody.
You there. I am Moloch, the Destroyer. I have trapped many victims in a cave near here. Find Traven and tell him he must bring me that which we need, so that we may feast. He will know what you speak of. Go now, or we will consume you as well.
It's gonna be a quick one as far as video. The past couple ones have been a few hours, but this one looks like it's just a little over an hour. Screw that guy. Come back here, I want to punch you in the face. There we go. Probably the least efficient route I could take. Alright, we're getting close. Here we go.
What is this? First, Moloch wants me to fetch onyx shards. Now he has need of the device? Wait, he must have captured food. I shall fetch it immediately.
Alright, guys. So let's go ahead and end this with a bang. We got a boss battle coming up. It's one of the few boss battles in this game, I guess, where you actually have to fight somebody. In particular, we're going to be fighting the character called Monster. And Monster was originally intended to be Scorpion transformed into the champion of the Elder Gods. If you recall, in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, Scorpion tracks Shang Tsung and Quan Chi and ends up getting into a fight with Moloch and Draman. He gets overpowered and thrown into Shang Tsung's Soulnado, which is basically a tornado of souls, if you can't figure out the name, that Shang Tsung makes as a way to kind of steal people's souls. That when everyone dies, instead of them dying, they go to the Soulnado. Having said that, Scorpion, instead of being destroyed, instead finds himself in the presence of the Elder Gods, and they choose him as their champion. And in payment of that, if he helps stop the Dragon King or whatever they are asking him to do, he will get his clan back, is the idea. And so the character Monster, which we're about to fight, was intended to be Scorpion originally. However, I've heard and read developers of the game saying that nope, monster is its own character. And I've never that makes monster really weird and confusing. So take it for whatever you think it is. I think it has to be Scorpion. It shares a lot of the same design cues as Scorpion. It fights with all the Scorpion skills. It would fit in so much better. But the truth is, later on in the series, we fight Scorpion. This also, timeline-wise, wouldn't match up for it to be Scorpion, because the Mortal Kombat 1 tournament hasn't even happened yet. So there's no way Monster is Scorpion. So perhaps Monster is Scorpion, but like not bound by space and time, or maybe Monster is his own character. What do you guys think it is? If you're watching this on YouTube, why don't you guys put in the comment section whether you think Monster is Scorpion, just not bound by space and time, or you think Monster is entirely its own thing. So let's go ahead and have that fight, and then we'll wrap up the video. Oh, I was about to victory sip, but I forgot what this is a 3-round fight. There you go. All right. So that concludes the first pass through NetherRealm. Next up is Chaos Realm. That's what that one is there. That's going to be done for another video. If you guys enjoy this kind of content, do me a favor and drop me a follow on Twitch. That is twitch.tv/VAL1987. And if you are watching this on YouTube or you want to check it out on YouTube, I upload the videos that I think are worth uploading to the YouTube, plus a bunch of other ridiculous stuff I upload to YouTube. So definitely check that out. And that's Michael V Arcade, all as one word, Michael Varcade. So be sure to check that out and subscribe and hit the bell button and all the jazz or whatever it is YouTube's having you do at the moment, because they change it every week. Anyways, guys, that's our video for today. So next video we're going to be going to Order Realm, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So look forward to that. See you guys.